Hi there, everyone. Wilsonville, it's noon. This is live, so this must be live at noon. I'm Kevin O'Malley, your Wilsonville Chamber of Commerce. Welcome. I'm here with our normal friend, Wilson C. Bear. But most importantly, one of our great members, Brendan McDonald from Cam and IT. How are you, sir?
I'm doing really well, Kevin. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Wilson T. Bear, as well, for the warm introduction.
Thank you. So Cam and IT is managed IT services. And so we like to find out from folks, since this is still COVID time, unfortunately, what's happening in your business relative to COVID and your customers' businesses.
Yeah, Kevin, it's a great question. And unfortunately, it is the first question most people ask, regardless. What people have noticed, there was a challenge or in many ways, a digital shift that happened a few years ago across IT businesses where everyone started coming in with their own devices, the Internet of Things. People brought in their own cell phones, absolutely, connecting to the network. And that presented its own set of challenges. As anyone who understands, especially our business at Cammond, Matt is a cybersecurity and security freak, which is a benefit to all of us.
I have this original book up here on the bookshelf on security. Yep.
Absolutely. Well, that was when people were coming into the office. Well, now all of that has changed, and now everybody's working from home. So they're not even necessarily on their secure networks. They're not necessarily within the confines. And so that has presented a lot of, CISOs and directors of IT who normally were just kind of managing one network. Now they have been inundated with everybody has to work remotely, access their email, access their ERP functionality. All of that is done now in a remote setting, and the amount of challenges, and to a certain extent, I hate to overuse the term, but the word fear comes to mind because when you have less control, you're more susceptible to problems. And so that space has been essential for all businesses, not just IT, but all businesses across the Portland area.
Sure. Well, it brings up a question in COVID time whether breach and the bad guys, the bad actors, are you seeing same level, different types of impact? What should be people aware of relative to a breach or an attempted breach right now?
It's a good question. So, Kevin, what we have seen, unfortunately, bad actors are bad actors, and they're just going to prey off where we feel the most vulnerable. And the reason you opened a question, and the reason I think people are going to be listening in to our session here, is security is a real threat. And if they can prey off that fear, that's what they're going to do. And so very often we get a bunch of updates on, the most recent breaches. Almost all of them there's some, protect your network or something COVID related that people are clicking on or opening attachments, and because you think like, oh, I need to do what is right and protect ourselves, when in reality, you're being led down a path that isn't necessarily as safe. And so I wouldn't say there's a significant spike in those kinds of things, but the bad actors always try and stay one step ahead, and that's how they do it. It's really troubling, to be fair.
Yep. Well, so Cam, from our own experience, you do a lot on managed IT services in security and breach, but you're also a big Microsoft tier one partner. So we have Office 365. I saw some news just this morning actually that broke in on my Google News feed, and it said that Microsoft Teams is actually gone and is doing a freebie here because they know folks are going to be working are going to be looking to connect over Thanksgiving. So Teams, I'm an Apple guy, okay, and I live in an Apple world, but I gotta say, Microsoft Teams is a long way away from Skype. It's what's Teams' biggest call to fame right now?
It's a great question, Kevin. So truthfully, a lot of people still think Skype is sort of the go-to, and it's not. I have to correct my own parents who often ask, "Hey, can we do a Skype this weekend?" And I have to remind them, Mom and Dad, I sell this stuff for a living. You're not helping me out here. But where we've seen the greatest uptick in terms of Teams adoption and Teams usage has been in the medical community because of the level of security that is associated with Teams. It's built on the Azure. a lot of that is it's just more secure. And so EHR records, which have to be as protected as anything in the entire business community, Teams is the go-to now. And so the fact that our doctors and hospitals, quick side note, my wife is an ER nurse, so she actually got trained up on Teams, and I had to help her with her. So thank you to my wife as well. But if it's good enough for the medical community in terms of security, it's good enough for everybody, and that's really what they've made their bones about. So the more secure your information need to be, the more likely you got to be on Teams, whether that's through us or from anybody else. But that there's a reason the medical community is going to it.
Yeah, as a longtime Apple guy, I got to say Teams really has some incredible functionality. You don't have to, you can allow everybody. We're starting to use it with our committees here at the chamber because it's frankly a more secure and actually easier way than Google Docs. Everybody thinks Google Docs is easy, and in fact, Teams is actually much more robust. So everybody here got a good feel of what Cam and IT can do. We'll pop up some information, but they also want to know what they can do for local business, which is help us find where's Wilson. And again, while this is Wilson, our mascot, what you got to take a picture of is where's Wilson, the sign. The sign is somewhere in Wilsonville. Last week it was in a park, could be at a business, could be inside a business, but you can safely take a picture from outside. So it's basically somewhere in Wilsonville that you can safely be able to take a picture. So Brendan, you're going to tell us the clue for today, Tuesday, the 17th. Could you read that out loud for us, please?
Absolutely. So Wilson C. Bear, during this holiday time of year, lots of folks decorate with stars. For us, it's 24/7 and 365.
So if you need to hear that again, remember this live is always recorded. You can go back and listen to it. And in fact, Monday through Friday, we give out the clues here. Monday through Thursday at midnight, you can enter any one of the 4 drawings. That's the daily for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There is a secret word. Our secret word for today is cybersecurity. I wonder why. So we have the clue. We have the daily word clue. We have where's Wilson. And most importantly, folks want to get a hold of you, Brendan. How's the best way to do that? Ask the questions about, hey, what about security? What can we do about networks? What can you do about IT? How would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so thank you for posting our information. That is the general sales line. So that no matter where I am, that actually pops up on my Teams, so I can be in my house. Unfortunately, if I'm in my house, there's a chance my 7-year-old's running around with a Titanic. So proceed with caution. Always answering emails. So I'd certainly love to hear from you and understand how we can help out your team.
Great. Wilsonville Business Chamber member. We appreciate Cam and IT. Thanks for joining us today. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Remember, tomorrow, back at noon. Peace.
Thank you, Kevin.
You bet.